In the heart of Alaska's icy wilderness, where the northern lights dance across endless skies, once stood a small, quiet mining settlement called Portlock. Today, it no longer exists. There are no living residents, no remaining homes, and no signs of life. Only whispers of what happened in the winter of 1951, when an entire town disappeared, leaving everything behind. The story begins in the early 1900s, when Portlock, also known as Port Chatham, was founded as a fishing and cannery village. Life there was hard but peaceful. Families built homes along the rocky shorelines. Men worked in the salmon canneries, and children played under the watch of snow-covered mountains. For decades, the people of Portlock survived harsh winters in isolation, until strange things began to happen. It started with the sound of heavy footsteps echoing through the forest at night. Hunters who went deep into the woods reported finding huge, human-like tracks, far too large to belong to any man. At first, people blamed bears, though locals whispered another name, Nantinaq, the half-man, half-beast creature of Alaskan legend. Elders had long spoken of a monstrous being that guarded the wilderness, punishing those who disrespected the land. But most laughed it off as superstition. That laughter didn't last long. By the late 1930s, loggers and miners began disappearing. Men would go to work in the forest and never return. When search parties went looking, they found blood on the snow, mangled tools, and sometimes no bodies at all. Panic spread through the tiny community. Some claimed to have seen a tall, dark figure moving between the trees. Others spoke of unearthly screams carried by the wind, echoing through the canyons at night. Local authorities investigated but found nothing solid. The reports were dismissed as fear, exhaustion, or drunkenness, until the disappearances continued. The final straw came when several hunters were discovered torn apart, their camp shredded as if by enormous claws. That was when most families decided to leave. By 1951, Portlock was abandoned. Houses stood empty with dishes still on tables, and boats remained tied to the docks as if waiting for their owners to return. The town froze in time, silent, untouched, and shrouded in mystery. For decades, no one dared to live there. Locals from nearby villages avoided the area completely, saying it was cursed. Fishermen who passed by claimed they could still hear cries echoing from the forest. Some even said they saw a figure watching them from the cliffs, tall and motionless, as if guarding the ruins of what once was. When modern explorers and paranormal investigators visited Portlock years later, they found rusted equipment, collapsing buildings, and something else. Strange claw marks on trees, far higher than any bear could reach. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness, the kind that presses against your skin. Cameras malfunctioned, and compasses spun wildly. But the strangest part? Even after all these years, there were fresh footprints in the mud, large, human-shaped, and leading straight into the mountains. Historians have tried to explain the mystery logically. Some believe the villagers left because of the economic downturn. The cannery closed, jobs vanished, and the harsh weather made life unbearable. Others think it was an outbreak of disease, or perhaps fear spreading faster than truth ever could. Yet none of these theories explain the blood, the tracks, or the fear that drove everyone away so suddenly. One local elder once said, "Portlock wasn't abandoned, it was reclaimed." Even today, people who venture too close describe a strange feeling, as if they're being watched. Hunters report finding trees clawed apart and hearing footsteps that follow them, though no one is there. Satellite images show the ruins still standing deep in the forest, a ghostly reminder of a time when humans tried to live in a place they perhaps were never meant to. Some believe the legend of Nantinaq is rooted in real history. Native Alaskan folklore speaks of large, hairy beings living in the remote mountains long before settlers arrived, creatures that avoided humans but became violent when provoked. Others suggest it was simply a human murderer who used the isolation to hide his crimes. A few even theorize secret military experiments occurred there during the Cold War era, hidden from public records. But every explorer who's gone there says the same thing. Something feels wrong in Portlock. It's not just an empty town, it feels alive, as if the forest itself remembers what happened. In 2019, a team of reality TV investigators attempted to spend the night at the site. They reported rocks being thrown at their camp from the dark, though no one was around. One member even claimed to see a large silhouette standing at the edge of the forest, watching silently before vanishing into the mist. Their footage went viral, reigniting worldwide fascination with Portlock's mystery. Despite countless theories, no concrete answer has ever been found. The town remains empty, untouched, as if frozen between worlds, part history, part legend. Locals still refuse to set foot there, and when asked why, they simply say, because some places remember. So, what really happened to Portlock? Was it fear, folklore, or something beyond human understanding? Perhaps we'll never know. But if you ever find yourself in the cold wilderness of southern Alaska, and the forest suddenly grows silent, remember the town that vanished overnight. Maybe you'll hear footsteps too.